unfortunately you sustained that shoulder injury, but that is your, I'm assuming since you pointed to your right side, that's your throwing shoulder, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you took that collision, your shoulder might have subluxed a little bit or something because tore your labrum, probably partial rotator cuff tear. So they could, tell you just to rehab and try to get strong again. Mm-hmm. Explain that process real briefly. Like, what was it like after your rehab? Did you feel like you had the same velocity on the ball? Did you feel like you could throw? What was that experience like for you coming back from an injury like that?
Oh, I was better.
Okay.
I worked, and that's where I was able to focus on something and focus on that one thing. It kind of took my mind off of being this little fish. And that was one thing I took pride in, was my shoulder. And I did a lot of shoulder work. There was a chiropractor that I had done some work with my senior year and going into my freshman year of college. He was a chiropractor, but he focused a lot on the scapulas and the upper back and strengthening that to keep the shoulder, kind of from taking a lot of the brunt of throwing a baseball. And he developed this contraption called the box, and it had bands coming from each side of it. You cross the bands and you do your work, and all of the rotator cuff stuff. So I went to him after this shoulder injury, and we just rehabbed like crazy. And then instead of just focusing on the shoulder, he looked at my entire body and my hips and everything else, and realized, okay, we can work on these other things. So I started doing a little bit of Pilates. His wife had a Pilates studio in there.
Got it.
And my goal was to try to do this, like be able to do the splits. Okay. And I never got completely there, but I was pretty close.
Yes.
And those were the things, like just little muscles and that's where I go back to that training in high school where I was just lifting big weights. I was trying to get big. I was trying to get strong. This was more, let's get everything tight. Let's get the shoulder back in place. Let's get it going again. And when I started throwing a baseball again, came back super strong. I mean, I was, I went and played junior college after that for a year. And before the next injury happened, I was playing the best baseball of my life.
That is great to hear. Yeah. That's so great to hear. And then that's exactly, I mean, you've heard from Anissa, but that's kind of my philosophy too, is that you got to look at the whole body and work on all of the things that is going to help you do whatever the task is. And in your case, right, is being a catcher, throwing the ball. So all of that is excellent to hear. And that probably gave you a lot more experience that kind of added to your exercise, strength and conditioning knowledge and kind of what you're doing today, right?